Hello there, my name's Dan and welcome to my garden here in Essex, South East UK. So over the last what will be 8 years now, I've been working on the garden here, trying to get it as productive as is reasonably possible. So I grow quite a lot of fruit, quite a lot of veg here, grapevines, fruit trees, seasonal vegetables, etc, permaculture, annual culture, etc. So quite a lot. So today we're going to be having a little look around the garden. So we're in January now and relatively cold, could be colder though, certainly no big deal, at least around here anyway. Now I haven't done any real gardening here for quite some time. I did a little bit the other day, a bit of tidying up, but I haven't been able to do any gardening for reasons in which I discussed in my last video, so you might want to check that one out if you're interested. I'm not going to go yapping on about that today because that's in the past and done now, but we're going to start off and have a little look around here, and hopefully you'll learn a few things which you can implement in your own garden or your own allotment or whatever, so stay tuned. But if you'd like to hear of any more videos I've got coming up, and there's going to be a lot coming up on this channel this year, I'm quite excited about it, please feel free to subscribe and share this video with anyone who may find this interesting or useful. And you can also click the like button if you wish. So anyway, without further ado, let's go in the polytunnel there and we can make a start in the polytunnel, which is a little bit untidy in there. Okay, so here we are. Now at the back there, many of you have seen this many times before, it's the peach tree variety Dixie Red, and gives me massive crops every year. It really is productive. You can see the tree look has grown all the way out to here, so I'm going to prune the top of the peach tree there. I need to do that. I'll do that in a few weeks time. Now with regards to the growing of peaches, nectarines in climates like the UK, peach leaf curl can be a major problem, hence this is why I grow it under cover, to protect it from winter rainfall. I've made lots of videos on the subject of peach leaf curl, but you basically want to avoid it if you can, because it quite often leads to a very weak, sickly looking, spindly tree and can lead to death of the tree. It's very frustrating. You don't even want to consider getting it. So that's one little thing. I've got some blueberries down here. They cropped lovely last year. I had a huge crop of blueberries. How did your blueberries do last year? If you're growing them, very interesting. It'd be lovely if I could repeat that success again this year. But yeah, so got to do some weeding there. You can see the stinger nettles have grown up into the middle of the tree there. But yeah, this is a little project. Hour or so when I'm a bit more able, I'll better get on with this and that'll be just fine. So this part of the garden here, you can see it's more or less clear now. I've got a little bit of perpetual spinach leaf beet growing here still, but largely this is a blank canvas ready for planting later on in the year, so that's really good. I haven't mulched this year. I haven't added any additional compost. I do have some compost I'm currently in the process of making. I'll show you that in a moment, but I'm quite confident, to be honest, that this has got plenty of nutrients in it. Very good strong growing medium here, because I'm always working on my growing mediums. Well, at least I was, but that's one thing I can say to people. If you want to take one piece of good advice for gardening, and that's to always return the nutrients to the soil, regularly add organic matter, don't just take from the ground, always give back if you can at several times of the year, because you want to get some nice strong nutrient rich crops, and that's a very good thing to aim for in my opinion. But yeah, over there I've got a grapevine, that's variety Rhea. Now last year didn't perform as well as I would have hoped. Got like a fungal disease, and many of the grapes, most of them in fact, weren't edible really. But I'm going to give it another whirl this year. I know that they can grow well around here, because a few years ago I was in a customer's garden and I saw him growing this variety Rhea in his garden, and it grew very well indeed. So I'm certainly not going to give up on that variety just yet, because really want to find out, you know, want to grow my own because they're a beautiful grape. So as we're at the back here, so grapevine variety Rhea here, and now here I've got a apple tree. Now I got the scion for grafting quite a few years ago now from Stephen Hayes on the Stephen Hayes Fruitwise channel. I don't know if he's making videos anymore, but I imagine the channel's still there. You might want to check Stephen Hayes, that channel out. It's very good. If you enjoy my videos, you could probably thank him really, because he's probably the person who inspired me most to start making my own videos, which is 9 years ago now. So yeah, very good. Unfortunately, I lost the tag, so I don't know what variety it is, but I'll find out one day. But yeah, so quite interesting here, very productive. More blueberries over there. Over there, we'll just have a look at some feijoas, otherwise known as pineapple guavas, I've got growing. So here they are. I've got two varieties. One is an unnamed variety and the other one is Triumph. So it'll be very interesting. They're fully hardy, at least in this part of the UK. Anyway, I've got a friend of mine, she grows several of these in her garden in a much more exposed location than here, and they've been just fine for years to plant. So there we are. So very good there. Pineapple guavas. A little touch of the hardy exotic in one's garden, I think is very good. So grapes, pineapple guavas, peaches, nectarines, very good. All fully hardy round here. This is USDA Zone 8B, and you can grow them, you know, without too much trouble. Of course, though, with regards to the peaches and nectarines, you want to be growing them under cover if possible. We'll have a look at a few more I've got growing in this polytunnel here. So we'll go in here now. Put this polytunnel up last year. My big one that I had here, some of you or many of you may remember, it got destroyed, but we've been and done that one already. So let's go in here and have a look. So in the tunnel now I really love my polytunnels because I think they add a great dynamic to your gardening, make growing extra things much easier, very good. So we've got nectarine variety Lord Napier there, and we've got peach variety Peregrine here, both delicious white fleshed varieties, traditional varieties as well, and really nice indeed. So you see I've got my table there. Some of you may have seen the planting video I did the other day. I do like my little table. I find it very useful, little ledge. Don't have to bend down as much, very good. And here you can see my little mini greenhouse within the polytunnel, mini cold frame grow house, whatever you want to call it. Very good, can add that little bit of extra heat, very important earlier in the year, so I find that very good. So this polytunnel here, it was interesting because we had the storm a week or so ago and it fully took it no problem, so I know it's very secure. I've made videos before on how to secure polytunnels. You want to make sure your polytunnel is secured properly, because if it's not, it can be very destructive and incredibly annoying. But yeah, expecting some wonderful crops to be grown in here this year. In amongst here I've got options to put tomato plants in there. Down here I'm going to have my pots with my more exotic crops in, such as my aubergines, my chilies, watermelons. So really going to be going for it this year, and I hope you people can come along for the ride with me, because lots to look forward to. So this part of the garden here, this is behind the polytunnel, so I can allow this to get a little bit less sightly than the remainder of the garden. I mean, I'm not an overly aesthetically concerned gardener, as you've probably worked out by now. I'm more about function and productivity, but one does have to keep a minimum standard, don't they? But here I am here. So what have we got? Now, at the back here, this is a fig tree I bought years ago. I think it's variety Brown Turkey. I'm yet to really have much of a crop off of it, to be honest, but I'll keep giving it a chance and we'll see. We've got a grapevine here, variety Suffolk Red. If you're living in a cooler location, a variety Suffolk Red you might want to look into. And down here, yes, if I remember correctly, this is variety Venus. Yes, it is. So it'll be very interesting to get some nice crops off of those, hopefully this year. Here I have a persimmon, Sharon fruit. It's a nice crop to grow, and I did have a few on there last year. I didn't protect them and I think the squirrels had them, but that was my fault. That's how it goes. Got another persimmon here, and this is variety Fuyu, a non-astringent variety. If you want to grow persimmons in a country like the UK, Fuyu is generally one that can be recommended. I've made videos on a very productive Fuyu tree I know of, not too far from here. Well, I think it's Fuyu anyway, but it certainly looks like it. And I know other YouTubers have shown how good Fuyu is growing in a climate such as the UK. So you might want to look into that. And you can see here, I've got my compost bins. So I mentioned earlier on about the importance of always returning nutrients to the soil, because you want to make sure that you're always adding, because to keep taking is not good in terms of gardening. So got my big tubs here, each one 365 litres. I got these from the local auction year and a half ago, something like that, and they're very handy. They're very 2 years ago now. Crikey, doesn't time fly? And all I do is I keep turning one into the other like that. For obvious reasons, I've not been doing this lately. I've just been chucking kitchen waste, bits and bobs in these, and it's just sitting there, not really doing a lot. But won't be long now till I can start turning and making lovely compost again. So that's this part of the garden here. Let's move on. I hope you're still with me. Are you enjoying this video so far, or am I boring you thoroughly? You let me know. So over here, I've got a no-dig bed here. This is the second of my main vegetable growing areas. No particular order, of course. And I've got a few bits growing here. You know, I've got a few mooly radish here. Kale there, most of that's well past its best now. There's a few little bits and bobs, leaves I can pick from here, but not going to be long till I clear all this now. Eat these radishes, eat the tops, chuck what I don't need into the compost, etc. And then start planning. I might put some true spinach in here earlier in the year. True spinach, not perpetual spinach, true spinach. That's one I'm going to be making or planting in a particular video. I've made videos on it before, but true spinach is a very nice crop to get in early because it grows quick, and you need to grow it early because later in the year when the days are longer, etc, etc, it can bolt. So it was a nice crop to get in early if you can. So over here we've got some fruit trees and some fruit shrubs, etc. Let's have a look at those. Okay, so here I've got a cherry tree. Now this is variety Stella, which was the first self-fertile variety of cherry to be introduced to the UK. I think it's from British Columbia in Canada, year 1968, introduced to the UK. So variety Stella, very nice. Now this is actually a minaret, or meant to be a minaret, otherwise known as a vertical cordon. But you can see here I've let this turn more into a tree. I can still get a net over it to cover it because birds love to eat, they really do love to eat cherries. But if you've got a smaller garden, haven't got much space, etc, a cherry minaret could be a good idea if you want to grow some of your own cherries. I have heard that these minarets you can grow in containers as well, so you might want to look into that. This came from Ken Muir. Don't know if that business still exists. I hope it does. It was a local business in Essex, but you know, you never know what's going on nowadays. But yeah, Ken Muir, look them up if you want to get something like this. Very good indeed. Yeah, so here we are, this part of the garden here. This is the main part of my backyard orchard. So you can see here, now this is a plum tree variety Jubilee. Now, I can't say I've ever had a particularly great crop off of it, but sometimes plum trees, and indeed many other trees as well, can take time to come into their own. So we'll see just what happens, but patience is good character trait to have for gardening, and indeed many other aspects of life in general, but you all know that anyway. So here we have a variety of pear tree called Concord. Absolutely brilliant tree. Concord, great variety of pear tree to grow. Grow one if you can. Partially self-fertile. Great variety, can't really sing its praises any more than that. And got grapevine here, variety Lakemont Seedless. Many of you have seen my Lakemont Seedless videos. First class variety of grape to grow in a climate such as the UK. Trouble free, at least for me anyway. Very easy to grow, just put it up the fence where there you are. Warm location if possible, and let it go. Beautiful, Lakemont Seedless. If you can only grow one variety of grape, highly recommend that one. At the back there, we've got an apple tree, and that is variety Worcester Pearmain. Worcester Pearmain is a heritage variety of apple, very tasty. If I remember correctly, this has been ready very early, late July one year I think I was picking them. Crazy early, but really delicious apple. They don't keep though, you do have to eat them relatively quick, but certainly a nice one to grow. And one thing I've got going on at the back there, I've got a bird box and some ivy growing around it. I don't usually like to see ivy growing over fences because working as a gardener I've seen so many locations which have been engulfed by ivy, but I've left that there deliberately because the birds like to fly through it, etc. They like to, you know, hide in it. And I think I had blue tits in the box last year. So if we go over there and have a quick look, so you can see I got my area here, look where I feed my birds. Love seeing little garden birds flying about. There you go, look, that's my bird box there. And of course with the tree, it's really good because they can, when that's all leafed out, they can hide in amongst that and use it as little perches. So here we are now. This is my, or part of my container orchard. I've got cherry trees here, apple trees, quite a bit going on here. I've got a tea plant, just very good, very productive actually. The cherry trees did very well in these large containers I've got them in, so I was very, very happy with that. These are variety, I forget things now, sometimes Sunburst, very tasty variety of cherry if you want one. So what we might want to do is look into the growing of fruit trees, fruit shrubs, etc. in containers if you don't have a big garden, or if you haven't got any more room, or you simply just don't want to put trees in the ground. Also very good if one rents, because if you're going to be moving from location to location, or if you're not going to be, you're not going to be living somewhere very long, if you grow them in pots, as long as the pots aren't too heavy of course, you can take the pot with you to your new location. So that's a very nice thing to do. So as always, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for dropping by and looking at my garden here. I really do appreciate it. I love making these videos, and I want to continue to keep making them. So going to keep growing some rather cool stuff and just keep carrying on with my gardening journey. And it's really, as I stated, there's something about when you haven't done what you love for a little while, it can reinvigorate oneself, and that's a very good position to be in a way, because when you're gardening, the more passion and enthusiasm you've got for it, the better you'll probably be at it, because of course it's like most things in life, isn't it? I'm waffling now. So I'll see you all soon in the next video. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Drop me some comments, questions, let me know what's going through your mind about what I've got going on here, anything you'd like to see. I'm all ears. Thanks for your time. See you in the next video.